Kim, what are the odds of a Janet Yellen term next year?
Oh, Bonnie, I wouldn't assign odds to that because there's no reliable predictive value there. I would think that she's certainly in the running, as the president has said. The focus for markets, I think, on the next Fed president, outside of policy, rates policy, will, of course, be financial services policy, deregulation. And there, I think, the president and any of the three people he picks is going to have infrastructure in place at the OCC and the Federal Reserve to begin to tackle the issue of deregulation.
Does that make a Powell more obvious of a choice, even as vice chair, for example?
I would put it this way, Bonnie, that Powell's a very strong force at the Fed now, and I think he's got a lot of backers in Washington, D.C. Irrespective of the outcome of the chair versus vice chair, Jay Powell is going to be a force at the Federal Reserve for some time to come, I think. And yes, in deregulation, he certainly has chops.
Yeah. Can we talk about Ray Dalio, Kim? I've got a quote here. We'll talk about the quote, and then I'll let you comment on it. Average statistics camouflage what's happening in the economy, which could lead to dangerous miscalculations, most importantly by policy makers. Would you agree with that tone from Ray Dalio?
Oh, I would agree with it, Mark. I think it's obvious in policy. You know, we've spent a lot of time in the last 2 years talking about populism, not just in the transatlantic region, but across the world. Populism is driven in large part by economics. And that populism right now feels the fragmentation that Mr. Dalio was talking about. In fact, I was surprised that in the piece, and I haven't read it all, so he may include this, that he didn't talk more about tax policy as well, because I think it will apply there as the House moves toward adopting the Senate resolution later this week. My sense is that this is the end of the easy part of the process. As members sit down to put together a proposal, they're going to be struck by how harsh the politics around fragmentation, economic fragmentation, and the issues that Mr. Dalio are talking about. I do believe that it's going to continue to be a driving force in whatever can come out later this year or next year in terms of tax policy.